to the left. But there is an item on Vox, the website today, where a self-described liberal professor says, I am terrified of my students because now everything has changed on campus.
Well, he does say that it's a mid-level school. He does not tell us the school.
Yes.
He also says, I've got a few minor awards as teaching. I've always got high reviews.
He's not going to reveal himself because he's terrified of his students.
He's trying to say that he is not a great teacher, and he's certainly not a bad teacher. He's right in the middle.
Well, he did say this, though. Edward Schlosser is his name, the professor here. He said, quote, my students sometimes scare me, particularly the liberal ones. The student-teacher dynamic has been re-envisioned along a line that's simultaneously consumerist and hyper-protective, giving every student the ability to claim grievous harm in nearly all circumstances.
That's right. And he tells a story about how a number of years ago he was showing some infographics about the Wall Street collapse, and some kid said, well, what about Fannie and Freddie? And they made houses available to people who couldn't afford them. And he said, well, that's not really how it all worked out. A couple of days later, he's called into the dean's office, and she says, look, you got this complaint. From that point forward, he realized, wait a minute, any little complaint by any of these kids can destroy my career. So now
they know that. The kids know that.
Now he calibrates everything. He doesn't want to rock the boat because now it's not about facts. It's about the feelings of the kids.
Well, that tilt is interesting, too, because Jerry Seinfeld was actually bashing liberal colleges as well, saying that the kids these days are clueless. They use words without knowing what they mean. And he said they use the word sexist too often. They don't even know what the heck that is. Watch this.
I don't play colleges, but I hear a lot of people tell me don't go near colleges. They're so PC. Here, I'll give you an example. My daughter's 14. My wife says to her, well, you know, in the next couple of years, I think maybe you're going to want to hang around the city more on the weekends so you can see boys. You know, my daughter says, she says, that's sexist. They just want to use these words. That's racist. That's sexist. That's prejudice. They don't even know what they're talking about.
Does it hurt comedy?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So no PhD in funny on campuses anymore then.
Right. Do you know what's interesting, too? And that's a good point for Seinfeld. By the way, Colin Quinn has a book just about that, and that's one of his best friends, and he's going to be in our studio in a week. But he also says, too, back to the professor for a second, the reason why he's really concerned, let alone the welfare of the United States of America, is that I didn't realize this. He goes, teachers in colleges are not tenured. Faculty members don't really have contracts. They don't get due process. Just 1 year you find out you're not coming back. So why would you take a risk? Why would you push the envelope? Because you have a career, you have a family.
Sure.
Right, and in fact, he said that one of the teachers, an adjunct professor, wasn't asked back because a student accused him of having a dangerous texts, offensive texts that were written by Mark Twain. Mark Twain, dangerous.
And by the way, they said these kids are worried about how they say it affected me emotionally.
Yeah.
What this teacher told it affected me emotionally. Forget your feelings. You're in college.
I didn't have time to be emotionally affected in college.
Right.
I was too busy studying.
You were very callous back then.
Who remembers?
Talk about callous. Here's Heather now.